Thank you, Mr. Speaker. December of 2022 in Montreal, the world came together and agreed on a global plan to transform our relationship with nature. The adoption of the UN's coming Montreal Global Biodiversity Framework sets goals and concrete measures to stop and reverse the loss of nature. This year, the theme of International Day for Biological Diversity is Be Part of the Plan. So what's the plan? Well, Mr. Speaker, it sets 26 action-oriented targets to be achieved by 2030. One of these is to expand the network of protected natural areas on which the Minister of Natural Resources here in New Brunswick has made much progress and will be an important legacy of his role as the Minister of Natural Resources. Another is to ensure that by 2030 at least 30% of areas of degraded ecosystems are under effective restoration. Can the Minister say what areas of degraded forest are being restored to achieve this target?
Minister of Natural Resources and Energy Development.
Mr. Chair, to the member opposite, or Mr. Speaker, to the member opposite, I appreciate having this conversation, and the leader of the Green Party and myself have actually talked about what's been done, but more importantly, what needs to be done. And conversations around reclaiming areas is very important. We did do a significant amount of work as it relates to conservation expansion, but that's not the end. So the conversation needs to continue, and within the Department of Natural Resources is currently happening about how to identify key areas that could be an important role in expanding that conservation area. We're combining it with forestry plans that have made changes that we've never seen before, like never converting a mixed stand of forest once harvested into single species plantation. That in and of itself is incredible for biodiversity. But thank you to the member opposite. That work will continue, and although it is a legacy, every day I have will continue to work.
Thank you, Member. Member for Fredericton-South and Leader of Party.
Mr. Speaker, the scientific evidence is clear. There's been widespread ecological degradation of the forest of New Brunswick. Clear-cutting and forest spraying have severely reduced the extent of old forest and simplified the composition and structure of our forests in general. Among other things, this has degraded the role forests have played in flood prevention and has caused bird population declines quite dramatically. The European Union's new regulation on deforestation-free products strives to ensure that EU imports of forest products do not contribute to forest degradation. This is quite important, Mr. Speaker. Can the Minister of Natural Resources tell the House what changes he intends to make to halt the degradation of our forests and avoid the limits being placed on New Brunswick forest product exports?
Minister of Natural Resources, Energy Development.
Mr. Speaker, to the member opposite, I appreciate having the question. And not wanting to grandstand, I feel like it's important that we get right down to the discussion. Areas related to wetland preservation, areas related to buffer zones, areas related to those areas that the member opposite speaks about that are mitigation items for flood issues. They've been a part of the Pathway to Target 1 legacy program that we've been involved with. But we need to continue, and the member opposite is correct. There are sensitive areas in floodplains where expanded wetland preservation could be a role. Government, of course, will be involved in that, but what I'm very proud of is the fact that over the course of the last 6 years, we have opened the door and allowed NGOs, non-government organizations who have expertise in that to come in and talk to us. The continued targets for preservation are also going to go beyond Crown land to talk about incentives we can bring private land into that. There's a lot of work being done. It needs to continue with every.
Thank you, Mr.